Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a first round match in the tournament to crown a new Pastgen Television Champion. Introducing first, he hails from Cameron, North Carolina and weighs in tonight at 225 pounds, Jeff Hardy. Well, Jeff Hardy, another former champion, hoping to regain that coveted belt in this tournament. In one of our two final first round matches set to take place here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent. He hails from Silsbee, Texas and weighs in tonight at 314 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Now that is not an announcer's mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Henry has really trimmed down in preparation for this tournament, but before we get set with this match, let's take a look at our final first round match is set to take place here tonight. Jeff Hardy taking on the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and then straight after this match, the current non-wrestlers champion, Peter Griffin, set to square off against the largest athlete in the world, the Big Show. Mark Henry down to just above 300 pounds. Really been working on his cardio. He wants to gain that Pastgen Television title, and he knows that stamina is going to play a big part, and I've been hearing from a lot of the people that train with him in the gym. I know he may have leaned down to just above 300 pounds. He's still just as strong, and look at that. Jeff Hardy trying to knock down Mark Henry, trying to charge into him, had no effect, and now Mark Henry knocking Hardy down and really going to work on him. And now Henry trying to snap that spine. Camel clutch applied, and Jeff Hardy a long way away from the ropes. And that's a painful manoeuvre when applied by anyone with somebody with the strength and power of Mark Henry. Complete agony as Henry now sends Hardy for the ride off the ropes. Big side slam and a cover now by the world's strongest man. This one could be over very, very quickly. Hardy managing to fight out of that pin and lives to fight on here, but not doing much fighting at the moment. Mark Henry really doing a number on Hardy. Mark Henry normally weighs in at about 400 pounds. That weight loss, you can see the effects. He looks really good, but look at that. Hardy crossbody manages to knock the big man off his feet, and now Hardy going to the top rope, looking to hit a big move. Beautiful missile drop kick by the charismatic Enigma. Hardy finally gaining something in this match, but he's got to stay on Henry here. Nice arm drag by Hardy. Tries the Irish whip, but look at this. Henry blocking that. Big clothesline by Henry. And a mistake by Hardy now allows Mark Henry to regain control. That hanging him upside down inside that turnbuckle. Henry now trying the Irish whip. Hardy managing to put the brakes on. Sends him into the corner. And look at this by Hardy. Whisper in the wind. Whisper in the wind. Could that be enough? Out of nowhere to put Mark Henry away. No, it won't. Look at the power. Look at the strength of Henry. 225 pounds is what Jeff Hardy weighs. Henry just threw him up in the air like he was nothing. And now Henry with a series of strikes, looking to wear down the charismatic Enigma Jeff Hardy. Henry picks him up. Look at this power, and just launches him right across the ring, spine first, hitting the canvas. Mark Henry may just be a couple of big moves away and putting the final nail in the coffin. Jeff Hardy's hopes are winning, but nice reversal by Hardy, taking the big man down. Now Hardy going to the top rope once again. Beautiful front drop kick. An air of desperation about that, but it's given Hardy a little bit of an opening here. Now goes behind, tries to roll up. Trying to catch the big man by surprise with a quick cover. And nearly did. Mark Henry only just getting the shoulders up after that, but look at that big clobbering overhand right. Jeff Hardy back on the canvas and back at the mercy of the world's strongest man. As now Henry sends him into the corner, comes charging in. Hardy sticking the elbow up though, and look at this by Hardy. nails the twist of fate. Now Hardy going up top. What's he gonna go for here? Tries the leg drop. Henry tried getting out of the way, but just caught the impact of that move right to the neck, the back of the neck.
1, 2, 3.
And Jeff Hardy, with that leg drop right to the back of the neck of Henry, advances in this tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Jeff Hardy. Your phenomenal underdog win by Hardy, and he will advance to the quarterfinals. He will be taking on whoever wins this next match. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is our final first round match of the tournament to crown a new Pastgen Television Champion. Introducing first, he hails from Quahog, Rhode Island, and weighs in tonight at 356 pounds, and he is the current non-wrestlers champion, Peter Griffin. I'll tell you what, Peter Griffin, he is a non-wrestler, but ever since winning that non-wrestlers championship, becoming the first champion, we've watched him week upon week defending that belt against new challenges, and it's been fascinating to see his progress. He has grown into quite the professional wrestler. Has really made big improvements, but he's got a big man, he's got a face in this contest. Introducing his opponent. He hails from Tampa, Florida, standing 7 feet tall and weighing 500 pounds, the largest athlete in the world today, The Big Show. And as we said, Peter Griffin's had a lot of success competing against non-wrestlers. It'd be a big enough challenge facing a regular professional, but facing against this man at 7 feet, 500 pounds, The Big Show. Many decades of experience inside that square circle. On a rare occasion, Peter Griffin finds himself, the smaller man, giving up over 100 pounds in weight and nearly a foot in height. The odds do not favour Griffin in this match, and look at that, the power on full display. Griffin cannot rely, as he normally does, on power moves against this man. He's going to have to use his athleticism and his speed, something which he very rarely has to rely on. As now the Big Show really going to work on Griffin with clubbing blows right to the ribs, right to the midsection, sends Griffin from the right off the ropes now, and a big boot. Griffin get back to his feet. Look at that nice duck by Griffin, and look at this power. Griffin side slam, cover.
1, 2.
Out of nowhere, Griffin pulling out a big move, but it wasn't enough to put the big man away. And now Griffin fighting the Big Show with those stripes, tries going for a big shoulder block. Big Show getting out of the way, and now Big Show with a hand around the throat, dropping the leg, and now the cover's made. This could be enough. We could have our final quarter finalist, but no. Well, Griffin, much more fight in him yet. I fear for not much longer the way the Big Show's going. Another leg drop by the big man. Griffin really in some peril here, as now the Big Show tries the Irish whip. Griffin putting the brakes on. Nice side kick by Griffin, and now Griffin really trying to fight back against this big man. Nice shoulder block, knocks the Big Show off his feet. Griffin now sending the Big Show into the corner. Slams his big cranium right against that turnbuckle. And what a plus it'd be for Griffin. He's already the non-wrestlers champion to become the Pastgen Television Champion as well, but the Big Show sticking the elbow up there, ringing his bell. And now the Big Show, big superplex off the top rope. Not messing about, he just wants to finish Griffin off with one big move, but look at that, Griffin getting to his feet at the same time. Nice takedown by Griffin on the top rope. Nails the double axe handle. Griffin going up top once again. Unfamiliar territory. Trails another big double axe handle though. Griffin really having to adapt his style here. I think Griffin had normally gone for that big splash, but I don't think it's going to have the same impact against a man that's nearly 150 pounds heavier than yourself. He's going to have to think of something else if he wants to try and put the big man away. Now Griffin on the top rope. Oh, and nails the big splash. Right off the top, across the spine of the Big Show.
1, 2,
Shoulders down, covers made, and Peter Griffin, the non-wrestlers champion, advances to the quarterfinals. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin couldn't rely on his normal finishing maneuver. He had to adapt it and come off the top rope, and he did it to perfection. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that on Saturday night, Jeff Hardy and Peter Griffin will go one-on-one in our final quarter-final match. And that's everything over now. First round is done with. There are the 4 quarter-final matches. The first 2 of those taking place tomorrow night. Randy Savage taking on the British Bulldog. Brock Lesnar taking on Ric Flair. And of course, Saturday night, Sting against Psycho Sid. And the 2 men we've seen victorious here tonight, Jeff Hardy taking on Peter Griffin.